What's up everyone, FFDev here, and in this video we're going to be adding some actual combat. Now this is going to be a bit of a longer video, I'm just letting you know. So, first things we want to do before we get started, so we want to go to our player H, and under current mana we're going to add int damage. We'll just go ahead and initialize it to 0. That way it's just initialized. Now we're going to have to update our calculate stats. So let's go to our player CPP now. And then calculate stats right here under current mana. We're going to make quite a few changes. Now I'm just going to go ahead and say this because somebody will get confused. Your capitalization matters. So if player class is equal to warrior, we're going to start with that capital W. Or whatever you named your classes, if you named it something different. And then we'll say damage equals strength times 2. I'm just going to go ahead and copy this. Go ahead on to repaste it. In the second one, we're going to say if it's rogue, we'll say damage equals, the rogue uses, we'll have it use strength as well. We'll have it use times 2 plus 2. And then so let me just go ahead and put else in front of this. So it's if and else if. That way we know we're only doing one, even though it'll work either way. And then we're going to do mage. And for the mage, we're going to do intelligence times 2. It is damage, so I'm going to go ahead and erase that. And if for some reason it's something else, like if we add any class and we forget to do it, we'll know because we'll do low damage, so we'll just put it equal to 5 for some reason. It don't exist. Now, one thing that we may want to do, just to be safe, is I already did it. But in enemy H, just go ahead and set the default level to 1 in case you forget to assign it. That way you don't have something crazy happen. Because if you don't assign a variable, it can get a random garbage number. Like the enemy could be like level 998,000. Have like just insane damage in one hit you. And you wouldn't figure out where the bug's coming from because you can actually just leave this at level 0. But this way we can't mess up. Now we're going to have to make a change. For the combat, this is going to be the long part, so we're going to go back to our main CPP. And right now we're going to say, go right here where it says, it'll make sure it says we're playing in this state. So far, everything, all of this looks good. But right here, what I'm going to do is this is where it changes. I'm going to go ahead and put bool, create a new bool called in combat. Equals true. Now we'll do while in combat. And I'll just go ahead and this is going to be pretty long. So this is basically, I'll just keep it right here. Trying to figure out what it'll do. Some of this code can be reused. Some of it can. So this right here, this can be used. First thing I'm going to do, because we're going to have it loop through multiple times, we're going to use our print function, and we'll start off by clearing every time it comes through. And we can just go ahead and copy this code right here and paste it in. Now, let's see. Because you'll want to know other stuff, we're going to add some other stuff. So after the loop that tells our enemies, we're just going to go ahead and add some more stuff we didn't have before. So print, right, we're going to add a new line. And I already told you this is going to be a long one, so your health, make sure it's spelled properly. That'd help. And then I'll do print use our right color function. What am I doing? STD to string. So we're gonna get our player dot current health. And then we'll pass in the color. Green, like so. That works just fine, and then I'll print. And I'm just gonna do it right. And the only thing we're gonna pass in here is a new line. That's all we wanna do. All right, so that gets our health. And we're gonna see this every time we iterate through. So the reason we're doing this, that way we can keep doing it. Because we clear, I guess you'll see the enemies appear and you'll see the enemies again. We can change that if we don't like that later. But it's okay for now. So now I'm gonna print, right? I could probably copy and paste, but that's all right. Gonna put a new line, then I'll put 1 attack. Let's go ahead and add a new line here as the option. I'm gonna copy this, it's getting tedious. 2, it's gonna be run. And then after that, 3 is gonna be, it's not actually gonna say 3. It's just gonna say choose an option. And we'll add a or a colon there and a space, and we're not adding any line because we want to put our choice there. So int choice. Then we'll say std cn choice, like so. Now here's where it starts getting a little fun, where some of the combat happens. We'll say if choice is equal to 1. Then we'll do another. I'm just gonna copy this. I'm getting tired of writing. Print. And then we're going to say choose an enemy to attack. And we're going to start off by giving it a new line before that happens. This matters. See, with a new line, it's going to give the new line first. That's why I put it there. So choose an enemy to attack. So we're going to give you the option. And then we're going to have an int target choice. And we'll, of course, std cn target choice. Then we'll say int target index equals target choice minus 1. Because remember, index started at 0 and we're starting 1 above it for what we're calling the enemies. So that's why we're subtracting 1, because like the first enemy we say enemy 1, but in the data structure it's enemy 0 in the 0 index. That makes sense. Now we need to do some safety features. So we'll say if target index is greater than or equal to 0, and we'll say if target index, not target choice, target index, that's what I told you, it's less than enemies dot size. Now, if you're confused, we'll walk it through. So we want to make sure that our index is at least, the target we're trying to put there is at least in the last slot. Make sure the target's there. Then we also want to make sure that our choice we picked is not greater than the enemy's size. So we can't attack the 4th enemy if there's only 3. So I hope that makes sense. That's what we're doing there. So now what we'll do is if that passes, we'll do enemies target index dot current health minus equal player dot damage. And then we'll do print. Here we go with this again, right? We're going to go ahead and add a new line so it looks clean. This is a lot of writing. You hit. Then we're going to do a color. So what am I doing there? Why did I type that? Just ignore that. And then we'll add another print function for the right color. I was writing it like it was an if statement or something. I don't know what was wrong with me. Now we'll hit enemies and we'll pass in target index. This should start making sense. .name. We'll get its name. Then we'll do the color. Yellow. What's even cooler is if you added rare types, you know, you could have it get the color based off the rarity. That's a challenge if you guys want to do it. I'm not doing it here, but it's pretty simple to implement with our system. Got to make you think a little bit. So now we're going to do print right. Now we'll say 4. Now we'll do plus. Now we got a converter damage std to string. Player.damage plus. I gotta add a space here before you type it. That way it's not like next to your number. So we'll do it like that. Then add a new line. Now, we're there. Let me look at my notes. What else are we gonna do? Now we gotta do some check. So we'll check for the enemy we hit. We'll say if enemies. Let's see enemies. Let's see target index dot current health. We'll see if its health is less than or equal to 0. Because if it is, it's got to be taken out of the fight. So we'll print right color that we can have some effect. Enemies target index. I know it's a lot of the same code we're writing. Dot name plus was defeated. And also make sure you have a space right there before was. I'll go ahead and add a new line here. What am I doing wrong? Oh, I always have something wrong. Aha. Forgot my, that's important. Well, shit, that ain't right. No, that is not right. So, now we have it like this. I'm gonna have to look at my notes. I did something wrong. All right, so right. That's name. All right, so we already did that. So plus name. Enemies. So this is right here. This is right as well. Forgot to pass it the color. Can't believe I did that. That could have all been avoided if I just hovered over this. But I was getting distracted because this looks can get to looking a little complicated. All right. So now there's something we got to do. Now you might be asking, it's there and we want to remove it. So this will be easy. We'll do enemies dot erase. There's an erase function. We'll do enemies dot begin plus target index. And this is just the way it's got to be. This starts from the beginning, and then we're going all the way up to our target index, and this gets us the correct one. It looks a little weird, but it works. If you don't use that, it won't work. Because I mean, you could do this. Guess we couldn't. I knew there's a reason I was doing it. Just to match the argument list, we have to have this. Yeah, there's a reason I did it like that. It's just one of those things. Now, that's done with. We can get out of that little section there, that block of code. Now we'll say if enemies dot empty. We're going to check if it's empty. And this right here is pretty straightforward. Print, right color. Go ahead and add a new line there. You won the battle, and then a new line after, and we'll do that. Color, green, works fine. And then make sure we put in combat equal to false. Now we're still not completely done with everything. We won't be completely done with everything, but that's all right. Now we have the ifs. We need an else. I want to put a space there. It just looks better. Now we'll print. What we're doing here, if you're wondering, so if the enemies haven't been defeated, then that means we're going to run this line of code. So I'm just going to do a regular write. New line. Enemies attack. If I can spell today. I told you guys this will be a long one. Now, there is some stuff that we could do to make this easier, but that's all right. We'll just go ahead and rewrite the loop. We'll just rewrite the loop. We could copy and paste, but it's not too bad. For ni is equal to 0. Now why I didn't put the I. We'll say if I is less than enemies, dot size, I plus plus. Now in our loop, because all the enemies that are alive are going to tag, we're going to say player dot current health minus equals enemies I dot damage. Then we'll check if player dot current health is less than 0. Then we'll say we're just doing a safety check. Then we'll say player dot current health equals 0. We could say is less than or equal, but we're just doing it this way. I'm just showing you different ways. Then we'll do print. I should have named it something different so it wasn't confused with the other print ones, but that's okay. Right colors. So we'll do enemies I dot name color red. Then we'll do a regular write and put a space there. Hit you for, put a space there as well. STD to string enemies I damage. If that's right. And then you also want it to know it's damage. So, I mean, it knows it's damage, but you want the words to appear. So we'll put a space after that. Put damage and then put a new line. And then make sure you get your semicolon. I know that's a bit of a long line. I know a lot of people don't like putting it that long in tutorials. Their code, they like splitting it up. I like having mine long. If it's got to be long, it's got to be long. I hate breaking up stuff when I don't have to. For tutorials, it's sometimes better, but hey, to each their own. Now we'll check if current health, which shouldn't be less than 0, because we did check, but we'll check again anyways, just for good practice. So player dot current health is less than or equal to 0. Then we'll put print right color. Print right color. Then we'll do a new line. You were defeated. Dot dot dot. New line. Color. If I can spell. I'm thinking red's going to be a good one for that. That is right. So after we do that, we'll just put in combat equals false. And then we'll break out of this. There's no need to continue. Now, we're going to have to break out of this else statement here. this big one here. Double check the hierarchy. Aha. So now that we're done with this one, and there's one here, this is the else. So after this else statement, we're gonna have to have one more. For some reason, I feel like it's in the wrong place, but maybe not. It is. Yeah, these brackets can get annoying, so it's gonna be here. All right, so this is for choices, and all right, so it needs to be here. So we'll break out of if choice is equal to 1. Look at my notes. That was a bad way of coding. All right, yeah, that's right. So it still needs to be in here. You get this with a text-based game, and sometimes in projects you get a lot of nested semicolons, and it's just nasty to make heads or tails of sometimes. So not too bad, but you know what I'm saying. We're gonna write new line. This is gonna be an invalid target. New line. There we go. And now this should be good. I know it's throwing me off. There we go. That looks better. Let's clean up some of this empty space where I can more clearly see where it goes. All right. So after we do that, we need to get out of this if statement here. You can follow the lines. Now we can say else if choice equals 2. And why would choice equal 2? You know, that's the coward's option. Then we'll say print right color. Had the wrong print again. All right, so right color. You ran away like a coward. And this can be expanded on. We're going to add more stuff like potions and whatnot. Eventually, let's add another new line there. Color yellow. And also in combat equals false. So we may actually make it where you get some sort of penalty. Running away too much. You know, it's never good. Now this is the easy one. We'll say else. We can just write now, like how we did invalid target, because there wouldn't be a target with the other one. So now we'll do invalid choice because there's only 2 options right now. And also before that, we'll go ahead and add a new line. Go ahead and add a new line like so. We're good. And now we'll just say if in combat. We'll go ahead and print right line, or right, excuse me. New line. Press 1 to continue. Which really doesn't matter right now, because you're not really pressing 1. Continue choice. Why does that not look right to me? Tripping. Continue choice, and then we'll do stdcn. Continue choice. All right. Now after, let's go ahead and clean up these brackets, make it where I can see where it ends. If we get here, we'll say state equals game state exit. All right. So, explain what happens here. Choice 1 says attack. Then we'll enter our target choice. And where we're getting the invalid target is here's where we make sure that their choice is within our bounds. And that's why it's invalid target if it goes here. You can follow it back to the line to see what it's doing. You got to do that sometimes. And it's even confusing for me when writing it and looking at my notes sometimes. But now we can give this a shot. And I don't know why it minimizes. We're going to start a new game. We're going to pick the warrior. Alright, so we got a level 1 zombie, level 3 goblin, and a level 3 zombie. Now what are we going to do? We're going to attack. Who do we want to attack? We're going to attack enemy... enemy 2. Let's get the goblin out. I feel like he might be more of a threat. And there's where I forgot to put a space. Zombie hit me for 5. Goblin hit me for 14. Other one hit me for 9. We're going to get that goblin out of the... Oh, I hit the wrong one. And I broke it by hitting the run away like a coward feature so far. Now, let's just try that again. Make sure I don't hit the wrong thing. Alright, we're going to attack. So we got one enemy, so we're attacking him. Continue. We defeated the goblin. Right now, there's no more choices. So, when it does that now, it just says you attack the enemy. Thanks for playing Ironville. The reason that happens is because we still have some of this junk code here. So now that we have some of this other stuff, we don't need this here. I believe we don't need this. We don't need this. Don't need that. And we don't need that either. That was double. That was some of our leftover code. Now we'll run this up. Before we do it, let me fix one thing. Where does it say hit you for? This is string. Damage. Aha. Right here is the culprit. And this line right here, I need to put a space there. Now we'll do this again. See, new game. We picked our warrior. Let's continue. What do we want to do? Choose an option. We got a level. Let's get some more enemies before we even do this. We just had one last time. Also, I don't like how the choices are spaced out, that formatting. Alright, let's see. Where's that at? So this is fine here to get a new line, but I'm going to take that new line out there in front of number 2. All right, so we got our 2 zombies, a level 3 and a level 1. So we're going to attack the first one. We're going to attack the first one. Alright, so now we're down to one zombie. We can see our health. Now we got more enemies appearing. I guess so there are changes now. See what's going on. Oh, I see the problem. Let me double check that. I think I see our problem there. Right now we're just doing constant fights. But here's the problem. When our health gets to 0, we took something out. We don't want this here. We don't even want that. I don't want that there. So what I want to do right now is, even though in combat's false, I want to also put state, because I broke something, equals game state, exit. Now let's see if this is any better. Sometimes, you know, when you do this, you get a few bugs. So now we got the warrior. We got 2 enemies. Let's take out the second one because you got to be careful. All right, so we defeated the first one. Ah, I see what I took out when I took out that code. I took out the "you defeated" thing, but I'm okay with that because pressing in an extra number was getting really annoying. I feel like I might make run a different number as well, something higher up than the amount of enemies we fight, because that's getting really annoying. We're just going to keep attacking them until I lose to make sure it works right. Your health equals 0. All right. We got to figure out what's going on here. You can see some live debugging. So I don't understand why we're getting stuck. Shouldn't be getting stuck. I know I broke it when I did something. But we're going to figure this out. Let's keep on. I'm just going to keep on fighting till I run out of health. There we go. Now we still got a bug somewhere. We're getting more stuff than we need. I think this finally did it. I think this needs to just needs a break there. We'll try that one more time. Something about that, it's just not sitting right with me. I got to see what it's saying again when we get defeated. I know I'm making this video much more drawn out than it needs to be. So I hit the zombie for 20, the enemies attack. We died. And I guess we could just copy this. And right here, put you were defeated. Of course, we're going to be cleaning this up later as well. That'll be by itself. Now when we get destroyed, there we go. Enemy's attack hit you for 10. Zombie hit me for 7. We defeated a zombie. You were defeated. All right, that fixed it. That completely fixed it. There's a lot of zombies there and a skeleton. So sorry for the long video, but thank you guys for watching, and hopefully that cleared some stuff up. And we'll be adding more functionality in the next video. Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you like, subscribe, comment below, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Take care.